What's going on, guys? This is Gainz Gaming. Today we are talking about the combat shop in KVK and what you should be looking at buying when you are ending your season or when you're first beginning in order to start crafting right away. You can see obviously I have 6 conquest coins and over 1 million season coins that I have not yet used in this KVK. And so I want to talk about what I would recommend buying in this KVK shop and what's worth buying, what's not worth buying, and with the new update to equipment, what really should you be looking at? And in terms of equipment, what is going to be worth it now that we have the new equipment system? So first of all, there are 2 blueprints that everybody should be getting every single time you enter Lost Kingdom. That is the Ring of Doom and the Horn of Fury. The reason why is because you can put these on basically any single march and they will do fantastic. And just the amount of damage you can output with these 2 blueprints is just absolutely insane. And when you're looking at the iconic attributes, first of all, getting the base health is crazy good. But then on top of that, you have the extra troop health, you have the unit capacity boost, you have the damage to rallied armies and garrisons, and then divine might, which is also pretty good. Which is whenever the wielder's troop launches any type of basic attack, has a 10% chance to gain one of the following effects for 2 seconds, dealing 5% more normal damage and taking 5% less normal damage, or dealing 5% more skill damage and taking 5% less skill damage. So, this is just a must-have, the Ring of Doom is, because, just the basic benefit that you get from the Ring of Doom is so good that you absolutely need to have it on basically every single march. If you run 5 marches, you should have 5 Ring of Dooms, because then at least you get a full crit no matter what, because on your 5th one, you're going to get a crit, which actually what happened to me. I did that on live stream. I basically told people that, like, screw it, I'm going to go ahead and craft Ring of Doom, and then I crit it, and then I was like, that was actually my 5th one. So when you craft 5, you do get a crit no matter what. I do have 5 Ring of Dooms now. So first of all, if you don't have 5 Ring of Dooms, you should 100% be buying Ring of Doom every single time you enter Lost Kingdom. And you should also be buying Horn of Fury every single time you enter Lost Kingdom. These are the 2 blueprints that I think everybody should be using. And, in some capacity, they should be used on basically every single march. Obviously, implementing a dagger, implementing a Moor's Web, those are also great. I have heard a lot of people using Vengeance for, Attila Takeda or Pakal Herald, specifically rally leaders and garrisons that want to use that to, make it more anti-swarm and all that kind of stuff. So open field fighters, not really as great unless you're planning on, city popping a ton, which you probably shouldn't be planning on that, because even though it can be fun, it can get really, really boring and doesn't really, do a whole lot for the kingdom, but it can drive people off territory. But a lot of people ask me, what about the legendary heads and what about the equipment material choice chests? These are really, really solid. And I think everybody, if you can afford it, at the very least, should be buying out the discounted versions. So the 50% off for the heads and the 33% off for the materials. I think everybody should be buying these every single time if you're able to afford it. And the reason why I say if you're able to afford it is because they are updating this shop and allowing you to buy 2 blueprints now at a time. I won't be able to this KVK, but in future KVKs, I'm sure people watching this now, you might be able to buy 2 of these blueprints every single time you enter Lost Kingdom, which is a game changer that actually makes it a little bit tougher to decide what you want to do, because, the amount of season coins you get can be limited. And so you want to make sure you are saving them up and not spending them on stuff you don't need. And what I mean by that is city themes. A lot of people just save up and buy a new city theme every single time. And, honestly, I think Twilight Falls is probably the best one in the shop simply because of the skill damage boost. But, if you're getting into commanders like Luce that obviously don't do skill damage, then you can kind of get away from Twilight Falls. Or if you're an infantry main, you probably shouldn't be using Twilight Falls. But if you are looking at, other city themes, I don't think any of these are really that great. Obviously, Divine Abode, you get cav defense. So if you're a cav main, that's a pretty decent one. St. Peter's, I don't think is great. Even if you're an infantry main, I don't love it because you can get a 5% health. It's basically doing the same thing as 10% defense. If you look at Persian Dream, gaining troop defense and healing speed is awesome. So if you need that for, if you're running low on speed ups, this could be a good pickup eventually. And then the Flight of the Huron really just sucks. Don't get this one. This is probably the worst one available. And then all the way down here, we have the Topaki Palace. This is just for AP recovery and archer defense. I don't love it. 5% AP recovery is very, very little in the grand scheme of things. So probably not worth getting that. I'd rather just get these and get the extra unlock for the bundle. That's honestly what I would prefer over the Palace, because it's just not worth it, honestly. But for me, I'm going to be picking up a Ring of Doom and a Horn of Fury every single KVK, no matter what, because at the very least, I can start adding these to the iconic attributes and start upgrading my original Ring of Dooms. I hate doing it, but at the same time, you need to do it. And you really have two different choices with that. You could go for the Awakening system, which, is a system that you are getting the extra talents on, or you can go for the special talent. And what I mean by that is refining. So you need another blueprint, and then you take the chance of getting a 25%, which, honestly, I don't think it's worth refining, especially a Ring of Doom. I really don't think that's worth refining it. I think it's better to do the, Awakening system, because, you're going to get the extra troop health. And, as much as having a crit is helpful, I don't think it's worth getting a 25% or a 50% and then waiting 2 more KVKs to get the crit. I just don't think that's worth it unless you're a rally lead and you need it finished, which I don't need to do that because I'm not a rally lead. I do open field fighting. So for me, the crit is great, but I think you get way more value from doing the Awakening system. So we're going to pick up the Ring of Doom, and we're going to pick up the Horn of Fury. I hate that it keeps doing that. Horn of Fury, there we go. And then we still have 687,000. We are going to pick up the gold heads and the equipment material choice chests. So we'll go ahead and pick these up. And one thing you really want to make sure that you are taking into account is before KVK ends, is you want to use up all of your crystals you are able to. So, I still have some research that needs to be done. So let's take a look at what else we have here, because upgrading stuff is going to give you way more season coins than letting them expire and just doing the trade-in. So obviously these are way more expensive. 2.8 million for 2,000 is very, very expensive in the crystal to season coin ratio. It's very expensive, but this is still a better ratio than letting it expire. And plus, once I finish that, then I can do more surprise strike, which will be cheaper and still give me more season coins. But like if you are not max tech and you're just working on upping the Karaka reports or upping quench blades or any of these kind of things or special medicines, then those are definitely gonna be worth it because they're gonna be lower in cost and still get you more season coins. You want to make sure you optimize the amount of season coins you can go into the next KVK with, because if you're able to buy a Ring of Doom right when KVK opens, you can craft it before fighting starts, which is a huge advantage, especially if you don't have one. So if you're buying these out every single KVK and saving up your season coins for those Ring of Dooms and Horn of Furies, you will benefit yourself so much more in the long run. And, it's just going to be a win-win situation for you. So we'll go ahead and research improve morale, and then we'll be able to do the surprise strike to finish it off. Hopefully get close to maxing out before KVK ends. Obviously there's only, 2 days remaining in KVK. And so I'm only going to get another 60,000 crystals and then bastions, obviously, which I'm not going to be, I got to refresh these because I'm not going to train troops for bastions right now. I don't need those crystals because it's not really going to make much of a difference. But one thing I also want to talk about is the transmutation stones and whether or not this is worth it. And honestly, if you are somebody that is using tons of transmutation stones and you have 5 marches, 6 marches, 7 marches, and you need to use these transmutation stones because you have really, really good things that you need to transmute, then sure, pick them up. Personally, I'm not really in a place where I want to use season coins to pick them up because I can't even find where they are. I don't even know if they're at the bottom. They might, I don't even know. But I think I have a couple. I guess I could try going to the armaments. Oh, here we go. They're at the top. So I have 27 right now because I try to save up to buy them out in the shop every week, but these are also really expensive. So I for sure buy out the purple formation choice chest. Sometimes I buy out the blue ones, but sometimes I don't. Obviously I'm not going to get Sage Testimony because I have this maxed out already, but honestly, like for 30,000 coins, this can be considered worth it, but it's also only 10. And I think if they increase the limit that you're able to transmute. And basically what I mean by that is increase it more than 10. So you see 10 out of 10. I have some of these that I've done that I can't use because I have transmuted it 10 out of 10 times and I still can't use it. Like this one, for example, 10 out of 10 used, I have 0 out of 10 remaining. I can't transmute it anymore, but I have really, really good inscriptions on here. 1.5 extra damage and 1% less damage. That's really, really solid. I want to have that, but I can't use it because I have troop load and damage reduction to barbarians. That doesn't do me anything. I'd rather use something else, but I can't use it now because I can't transmute it anymore. So that's something they need to add. And if they do add that, then I will consider buying the transmutation stones. But personally, where I'm at right now, I get, tons of formation choice chests that I can use to hopefully get new ones. And I am pretty happy with my current armament system right now. And so for me, I don't think it's worth buying the transmutation stones, but for some people, it might be. If you have a lot of things you need to upgrade and change the stats on, then for sure you can buy them. 30,000 is relatively cheap. It's about the same cost as the heads and the equipment material choice chests. So if you want to swap one of those out, for sure, go ahead and buy the transmutation stones. But for me, I'm not going to, just because I don't think it's worth the cost right now. I would rather be able to continue to buy the Ring of Doom and the Horn of Fury, because I can buy 2 Ring of Dooms and 2 Horn of Furies next KVK right away, which will basically get me 3 awakened Ring of Dooms right away into the next KVK. So personally, that's what's worth it to me, but everybody's gonna be a little bit different. But let me know what you guys think down below on what you think is worth in the combat shop in KVK. And then before we end the video, I want to talk about the Inscription Shop and talk about which ones are going to be the best ones to buy for limited and non-limited. Most people, I would say, are going to get the non-limited because only a select 300 will get the Autarch limited reward. I am one of those people this KVK, so I will be getting the Hunter, which I think is the best one available because that one gains a 5% boost to skill damage, and when dealing direct damage to a single target, the damage is increased by 10%, otherwise 2% if it's AoE. And so putting that on one of my marches would be absolutely insane. Obviously, you could also go for the Northern Parchment, which is a boost to normal attack damage if you're using like a Luce or a Gorgo. And then obviously you also have the Hollow Square Formation, which gains 5% skill damage resistance, which is good for garrisons. So if you're a garrison player, that's also a really solid one to use. But for people that aren't going to be getting the Autarch testimony, I think the Robust is by far the best one available, increasing your health by 3.5%. I think that's a no-brainer. I pick this up every single time because I think that's by far the best one available here for the Inscription Shop. If you guys enjoyed the video, do me a favor, drop a like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about the Combat Shop and the Inscription Shop and what you guys think are the best things to buy in these shops. Thanks for checking out the video. Have a great rest of your day.